Okay, back again. Um, I guess the first thing I want to look at is the idea of spirituality, the whole concept of spirituality. Um, I find it so strange that how it's framed in the world. It seems like even my peers in my as ministry and other spiritual guides and stuff, with the exception of a small few, um, the approach is almost that the spirituality is like a part of us, that that we're mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual beings. And I look at that and I go, that just seems really crazy to me. I mean, I'm a spiritual being, period. I mean, I manifest as through my thoughts and my feelings and the stories that I make up about them, my physicality. But everything on this world is perception. It's all about perception. How could there be any reality in perception? Where does it start from? Where's the basis for it? What's the first thing about this world that we can actually look at and say, well, that is legit, that is sacred, that is not changing? The world has changed since its inception. And so does the concept of self. That's the other part, the concept of who I am in the midst of it. And as if there's a spiritual part of me. I don't buy that in any way. I mean, I am spirit. I am spirit, and I am expressing as this avatar on this planetary place. I don't know what it is, but I do know that it's not what I think it is. I mean, I don't see things out there. I see things in here. Even when I sense things, I don't sense things out there. Out there, I sense them in here. In here. The pictures form in here, not out there. And they change to degrees of what I believe, or what others together with me share and believe. So spiritual practice is like, it's a whole different ballgame than what we think about on this earth. Einstein said that, I love one of Einstein's quotes. He says the most important decision you can make is whether or not you live in a friendly or hostile universe. And I've looked at that for a long time, because friendliness to me is like, it's got to go all the way. I mean, I interpreted that as being, not only would God show me the way, or Spirit would show me the way, but it not give me lessons. I mean, I don't find lessons friendly. I really don't. What I find friendly is, if I'm really created of Spirit, I find what friendly is Spirit carrying me into something and showing me the beauty of it. Saying, as if like a little child saying, had you seen this, Dale? You notice how this is? Look at this. And so I could go, oh, I never imagined that. To me, that's how friendly is. A few nights ago, I was coming out of the dream state, and maybe it was in the dream state it happened, and I was looking at that saying again, and I was realizing it was another way of saying it that I kind of liked even better. And that was that the only decision or the real most important decision that one could make, is whether or not you live in a miraculous or reasonable or reasoning universe. A miraculous or reasoning universe. I know what it's like to live in a reasoning universe. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so hard. It's so horrible. You don't know what you're doing. You always have to gather things, and then the other shoe's always falling. Everything is trial by error. Trial by error. In a miraculous universe, everything shows up exactly when it's supposed to show up, and it shows up in ways that you could never imagine, ever imagine. That eventually gets us into thinking, which is an interesting thing, because we place such a premium on thinking. I like one of my teachers, Krishnamurti, when he was talking to David Bohm in this book on time. I forget what it's called, the ending of time, and they were discussing things, and they were talking about thinking, and Krishnamurti was telling Bohm that all thinking is irrational. Which, if you think about it, makes perfect sense that it is irrational, Because it's all perception. It's all based on a perception, not on an actual reality. You can't look at something on this world and say it is what it is. There's always a question in your mind as to, are you seeing it correctly? Are you processing it correctly? Is it what it appears to be? Because it's always perception. He said that thinking was always irrational. Every thought was irrational. And Bohm asked him, well, isn't there one thought that's rational? And he said, yeah, there's one thought. All my thoughts are irrational. That's the only rational thought. All my thoughts are irrational. And then he proceeded to, because Bohm was going, well, what do we, kind of in a sense, like, what do we do then about thinking? I mean, how do we process being here? And it's like, he said, there's insight. I'm just giving you the short course on it. There's a thing called insight, which is things come to you that you've never considered, that you don't formulate from your history or putting things together, reflecting upon it. It just comes to you out of the blue and you go, I had never considered that. Well, the world is full of that, of insight. The universe is full of insight, transcends the world. And yet to be available for insight, we just can't be so busy, regurgitating our thinking. Going over the same old. There is an opening. There is a way that we can live miraculously now, here and now, versus living reasonably. Of course, the biggest problem to that is our own prejudice, because we've lived this way and everyone around us seems to live reasonably. And we think that if we don't live reasonably, that we're going to I don't know what, fall behind, die? I don't know what we'd all do. What I have found that is when you stop living reasonably, you start living miraculously, and time and space start disappearing, and all you're really left with is the present moment that is alive and well and complete right now. So that even if you start feeling squirrely inside because of it, you can ask this question. You say, am I okay right now? And every time you answer that question, look at that question, the answer will come back. Yeah, this moment, I'm okay. Even if you're dying of a disease, in that moment, you are okay. In that moment, it doesn't really matter what else is going on in the moment. Now the question is, how do you live in the moment? I'll probably have more to say about that. I've probably gone too long in this video, but more to follow.